Hello, welcome to this third video. In this series of videos, I am showing you how to create an application for delivery, an application like Uber Eats, step by step and with no code. So if it is the first video you're watching, well, I very recommend you to visit our YouTube channel. You can find it as an Apphive no code, and also visit our website at apphive.io. Here's the link. So you can learn how you can create these and another applications without using code. This is a platform for create complex mobile applications with without a single line of code. So to start, we're going to recap what we saw the last video. We start creating our application. We already have our user session. We have login methods with social networks, with Facebook, Google, Apple, and also we have the option to create an account using email and password and log in this user using a password and forget password. In the last session, we saw how we can read information from our database and create a list. We have our home screen here with two lists. One is an horizontal list, and the other one is a vertical list with our categories and our top products to navigate in our application. If we select one of these products, so we can see the product detail with the title, the price, and the description. Okay, so this is what we have so far. So in this session, we are going to see how we can increase the number of elements, like change when I want to add more than one, no, like two, three. And also, we are starting our checkout, well, our cart to add this product to the cart and have the, well, and calculate the price of all of these products. So this is what we are going to learn today. Let's start. Okay. We are ready to start. So we are working right now just in the user application. After we have, well, the product list, the cart, and the checkout, we're start working uh, on the business application, the application where we are going to upload all of these products, and also on the admin application to manage all these data. So right now we are on this page. This page is the product detail. When we press one of these products, we are on the product detail page. The next thing we are going to work on is the option to add more than one element to our cart. So what we need to do is when we press this container, the left container, we're going to subtract one of these elements. And when we press the right container, which is this one, we're going to add one element. Right now, we have a container. We have a main container to with a division, because yeah, we have 50% left, 50% right, and inside we have another container, and this is an icon. But in the right side, we only have our icon, but we don't have a container. it's a good idea to add containers when we are going to add functions, because if you can add the onPress event only in the icon, but as the icons are small, so it becomes a little difficult to press them, especially in small screens. So I very recommend when you have elements with an action, if the element is small, you can add a container around it, so you have more space to press your button. So we have these two buttons. Um, we're going to have a variable in our page to save the to save the quantity. We're going to create one, no, quantity. So we have a variable here, and our default value will be 1. So first, we're starting always with one unit. So this is the variable, and this is the default value. Okay. So when we press to add, because I want to add more than one, first I need to add the event on press. Second, I need an arithmetic operation. Arithmetic operation is a function which is here on the logic functions. Also, remember, you can search for the functions here. So you can search for arithmetic operation here, and you can add from here. It's the same. So we have an arithmetic operation. Or arithmetic operation, we're going to use, we have more operators here if we need more elements to sum or for a division or something. So, but right now we are going to choose the operator is sum, because we're going to sum, it's an addition. We're going to add these two elements. First, we are going to choose from the context data, from the page data, we're going to choose the quantity, because we have this quantity, the default is 1, and from the quantity and the operator b is 1, no, because we're going to read the quantity we have and we're going to add 1. Okay, so as a result of this arithmetic operation, we're going to have 2. So once we have the results, we need to do two things. First is save the result, because with this arithmetic operation, we are adding 1 to the quantity we have here, but we are not saving. So it is the result of this arithmetic operation for now is 2, but we need to save the result into the quantity variable. So to make that, we are going to use set page value. Set page value is here on the local database. Local database because, well, it's part of the local variables. And we have set page value. So we're going to choose the variable is quantity, and we're going to save into quantity the result from previous outputs, the result of the arithmetic operation. So we are reading quantity plus 1. So we have 2, and we are saving with this function into quantity. And the second thing we are going to do is modify control. Modify control, well, as we saw in the last video, allow us to change or modify elements in our page. So we have this element. We rename this as quantity. So when I press to add a new element, we're going to use the result of the arithmetic operation and modify the elements. I'm going to search for quantity, which is the name of the control, and we're going to modify the text. Okay, so that's all. First, we add one. Second, we save the result into the same variable. And the third is we change this control, would change the number to the result. So we can test it. If we press to add, you can see we are adding more elements. Okay, so we can change now the quantity. Well, maybe you can see because the camera, but here you can see when I press add, we have this. We are adding these elements. So the second thing we need to do is to subtract. If we want to reduce the number of elements we are going to add to the cart, is something similar on press event when we press it, an arithmetic operation. This arithmetic operation is similar, but we are going to read what we have on the quantity input data. We have the quantity we have here, or number say. Well, it is changing when we add more elements, but this time we're going to subtract 1. Okay, for example, 5 minus 1, we have 4. Okay, and but it is a little different because when we are adding, so we can add as many elements we need, but we can have less than 1, no, because it doesn't have sense to add 0 to my cart. So what we can do is use a conditional. Why a conditional? Because we're going to compare A with B. We're going to compare the results of the arithmetic operation, and needs to be more bigger or equal to, no, equal to or more than 1. So if is 1, it's okay. If is more than 1, it's okay. So this is the conditional. No, we are comparing the result of the arithmetic operation and comparing with another number. In this case, with 1. So if we if it's true, it means that our number of or result number of the arithmetic operation is bigger than 1. So we can continue. We can set page value and save the result of the arithmetic operation into the variable, and also use the modify control with the result of the arithmetic operation and change the element, the control quantity, and change the text. Okay, so we save the result of the operation and change the element. But if it's not true, it means, for example, if the result is 0, if we have like 1 minus 1 and the result is 0, we can decide what we are going to do. We can send an alert, or we can just don't do nothing. For example, I'm not going to add any function here. So let's test it. If we start adding, we have 40, 43. If we subtract, we have 3, 20, 10, 9. So, but 1 is the limit. So we can't have zero elements. So that's the way it works. So it looks fine. Okay, so we have the quantity. Now we can change the quantity. So if we are on our home page, we have our products. If I choose one product, we can change the quantity we want to add to our cart. So what's the next thing? Okay, we're going to add these elements to our cart, and we're going to do this when we press this button to buy. So if we press the button to buy or this container, we're going to save this product into our cart. So we're going to save these products. For this, it's the same. I need to add an event on press is the event. So when I press to buy, I'm going to save into the database into the local storage. Yeah, I can save the element, the product into the cloud database, but sometimes this is slow, and also it depends of the connection speed. So I recommend to add in a local database because it's faster, and well, at the end doesn't matter. Well, they can keep adding products to the cart, but at the end, when on the checkout, we're going to read all these products, make some validations, and save and create a new order. So for now, it's okay to save just in the local database because it's faster and it's in the phone. The difference between the local database and the cloud database is the cloud database you can read from everywhere and is saved on the server. And the local database you can read only on the device. And if you uninstall the application, you're going to lose this data. But it's okay. It's just a card. So it's very similar. The local database is the same structure as the cloud database. We're going to click here to open the database browser, and we have the collections on the left side. I'm going to add a collection called cart. And inside this collection called cart, um, we can have our user ID, or we can use a default ID, but we can use the user ID because it's useful. For example, if we um, if we have if we have many sessions in the same application, yeah, it's not very usual. But if you have different sessions, you can have a card in one of each this session, and inside this we're going to have products. Okay, and so we have our card from this user, and inside we have the products. And on the products, we are going to use the product ID. We have this product ID from the page data, from the product data. No. We don't have this ID here right now because we have the information from the product here, but it's all the information we have except the product ID. So we're going to add a new variable for the ID. So we have the ID, the quantity, and the product data. Okay. We need to send this information when we redirect to this page from the products list. We are going to do this in a moment. So to the cart, to the current user ID, products, and inside we can use the product ID. Okay, and inside the product we can save the same, the image for the product, the quantity, and the name. We can save also, for example, the description if we need it. Okay. And we're going to save this information into the local database, and we can read and get this information from the variable we have here called product data. Because remember that we before we send this product data information from the product list. We're going to check this in a second, but we already have the product data here. It's just to read the each property. No, we are reading the image and save in the image. The quantity, we have the quantity as a separate variable on this page, and the name, we can read the name from the page data on the product data, and we can read the name. And finally, the description, we can read the description from the product data description. Okay, now we are saving all this into the local database. And after save this information in the local database, you can send a message. Could be a toast notification, short toast notification on the center, no product added. Okay. So we added the product, and when we send the notification, and we can return to the last screen. Or also, it's a good idea to I think it's better to send a confirmation alert with product added. And we can ask for continue shopping. Continue shopping and go to, or just check out. Okay. Instead of send the notification, we can ask, no, like send an alert. Okay, the product was added. So what you want? What do you want? Continue shopping or go to checkout? So in the accept, we are going to send to the checkout. On the cancel, we're going to return to last screen. We can add an animation also. Okay. So let's try it. I'm going to reload, refresh the application. I'm going to log in again. We have our cake. We can change the quantity and add to the cart. And send me this alert for product added, continue shopping, or checkout. If I press continue shopping, now on my home screen again, and I can go to add new products to my cart. So we have, we have this ready. So once we add this product to the carts, we need our cart page. In this page, where we can see what products we have on our cart. So I'm going to add a new screen. I'm going to search for a carts page. We already have many templates here. I'm going to use this one. Select. And we have this template for the products page, is the shopping cart. And well, it's similar than what we did on the home screen, but instead of read from the cloud database, we're going to read from the local database. I'm going to add just a default image here, just to have an image. And we're going to show the product name, the quantity, and the price. So on load, when we open this shopping cart, we're going to read from the local database with this function for get local storage data. We can do it on real time or not. Yeah, we are going to use, well, maybe for now it's not necessary. It's not necessary real time. So click on open database and we're going to read from the cards, from the user ID, and from the products. Well, in the same path, we save these products, but we are not going to add any identifier, because if we don't add an identifier, we are read all the products we have on our collection called products. If we add an identifier, well, it needs to be the identifier of a single product, and we can read just a single product. But for now, we are reading all the products we have on the products collection. And then on the callback, on the end retrieving data, remember that on success is when it is called when we have data on our database. Empty is when we don't have any data. Error and end retrieving data is called always. So it doesn't matter if we have or we don't have data. So I'm going to add on the end callback the add collections to UI function. The add collections to UI to create this list, and we are going to send as an entry bar the information we read from the local storage data. So we are reading from the local storage data, and we're sending this information to the as an entry bar for the add collection. Click on modify elements, and we need to choose the list to, well, the control container we are going to add or create this list. As you can see, though it doesn't allow me to choose this container, this is because the structure we need for a list. Remember, the basic structure is just a parent container, and inside we need a child container, but only a child container. So in this case, we have this text with the title, your products. So we need to delete this title. So we have now our parent container and child container. The child container represents just a single element. So again, we're going to choose. Now this allow me to select the list data to modify each of the elements. I'm going to change the name of the products, change the text of this control, and I'm going to change using the information I have from the entry bar, which is this list context. So we're going to send here the name. We're going to modify also the image, the source. From the image we are reading, well, is image because this is the name of the variable we set in our database, okay? And the price, we're going to change this text and the price, and we didn't save the price. We're going to add this field in a moment. And here the quantity. So I need to check on the local database. Here on the local database, we don't have the price here. We need the price, and also we need the total. The price is also from the product data. We have the price because we're reading this from the product information, and the total, we don't have the total yet. We need to calculate a total before we save, okay? So before we save into the database, we're going to calculate the total. It's just an arithmetic operation. we can read the quantity we have here, and we have the quantity and multiply for the price. The price, we have the price here. On the product data, we have the price. But you can multiply the quantity and the price. And this is the total. We are going to rename this function as total. So, and we are going to save this in the database from the arithmetic operation. We're going to save the total. So when we are pressing the add to cart, we are going to calculate the total and save this into the database. Okay, it's now saved. And on the cart page, we can show here, well, we already have the price here. Well, we can display the price or the total. I think the total is better. Show the total here. Okay, so now we have our list. We can test this in our application. I'm going to reload the application. And we have our cake. I'm going to add 5 of these and save into my cart. Continue shopping. We're going to need to add here, after click on buy, if they accept. Remember, on the acceptance, we are at the checkout. So if they accept, we're going to push and screen and redirect the user to the cart for checkout. Okay, again, reload the page. Now we have 5 cakes, add and go to checkout. We have a problem right here. Maybe we have something in the database. I'm going to delete all the elements on the database. Here, when I press this button to delete on press, we are going to delete all local storage data. Okay, so let's press this and reload. Now, if we have 5 cakes and go to checkout, we have a little problem here. Let me see. I'm reading all the products I have in the database, and when I save these products here on the database, saving local storage data, we're saving in the cart, in the current user ID, and behind the ID. Yeah, we don't have we're not sending the product ID here. When we create the list of products, and well, this is what we did on the last video. So we are going to send the ID here from the context list. We're sending the product ID. Okay. Well, and we don't need to send anything on the quantity. It's only the product ID and all the information around the product. Okay. Let's reload. And now we have our cart. We're going to add 5 of these cakes and go to checkout. And we have our cake. I'm going to delete all the other data from the local database. And again, 5 cakes, checkout, and we have our cake. Now, okay, but yeah, that's okay. But we have the problem that we still have other data here. Let me try with the ice cream. Yeah, we have the ice cream. But we still have all this information. We can use the real time just to check if we are deleting all the information from the database here. I'm going to add 3 cakes. Yeah, the delete button is not deleting the database. So we're going to use the, delete all local data. Okay. Now we can delete all the data. Okay, that's okay. And also I'm going to add the function for return to last screen. So to return to the last screen we have, we can add the return to last screen because previously we came to this screen by sending a push screen. So if we push this screen, we can return to the last screen using this function. If it's a replace screen, we can return, no, because replace screen deletes all the stack screens. So if we add an ice cream and go to checkout, we have our ice cream. If we go back and add a cake and go to checkout, we have 4 cakes and 4 ice creams. So we have our cart ready. But also, when I press to return to last screen, I'm returning to the last product. So instead of here, instead of just push an screen, because when I push on a screen, I am adding the other screen just to the stack we have. So we are going to replace the top screen. I'm going to delete this one, and instead of push on screen, I'm going to replace the top page. So I'm going to replace the top page for the cart page. So now we're going to replace this page for the product for the cards page. And when we press the return to last screen, we're going to return to the home screen, which is a better user experience. So let's reload this application and we have our products. I'm going to add 4 ice creams and go to checkout. Now we are on the checkout. If I press this button to return to last screen, now I am on the home screen, no, as expected. So let's add a cake, maybe 3 cakes. Check out. And that's okay. As you see, we only have one of the products at the same time. So if I add just one cake, it is replaced on the cart. It depends what you need. For example, sometimes you don't want to have different elements in your cart for the same product. Sometimes you want, sometimes not. If you want to have different elements in your cart from the same product, what you can do is to add, when you save into the database a new product, instead of using the product ID, you can create a unique ID. So each time that you add the product, you are going to be adding this product again and again. For now, as we are using our product ID, each time that I add the product to my cart is going to be replaced for the other product. Okay, so now we have our products cart. So we can add products to our cart and save into the database. Okay, to finish today, we are going to sum all the totals of the products we have on our cart and display this total here on this total text. Okay, we're going to show this text here, and we're going to rename as total. We need to add a default value. You can add anything you want or keep this empty. Okay, just as you decide. So after we read all the products from the local storage data, we're going to need to have a variable called total. Okay, we're going to use this variable to save the total, the sum of all the totals of the each product. And after we sum all of these totals, we're going to display the total here. To make that, we're reading from the local database and creating the list with all the products. We're going to use the function called for each. For each is a function that allows us to perform different actions using one of each elements of the list we have. No? So in this case, we have the collection. We are reading from the database. We are reading a collection with all the products we have on our checkout cart, and we have different modes. If you want to learn more how the for each works, you can check on our YouTube channel. We have a step-by-step explanation how for each work. But for now, we're going to use the sync. The sync runs each iteration of the for each, one after the end one iteration and start the next. No? And async runs all the iteration at the same time. But for now, sync is what we need, because we need to read what we have on the total, because we have this total variable here starting from 0. It's important, have this total on 0, and we're going to read the total for each element and sum this total to the total we have on our cart, and save again. And this is for each of the elements we have on our cart. So click on functions, and using the we have this on compute, which is the these functions are called for one of each elements we have on our cart. So we're going to press functions, and then we're going to use arithmetic operation. we're going to read the total we have on our page, which is the total for the cart, and we're going to sum this total with the total of each item on our list. How we can read each element we are reading from the collection? Okay, we can read the for each, which is this function, and we need to write here item. Item represents just a single element of our list. Dot total. Total because we have a property called total we added to our local database, no? With the total as a result for one of each elements we have on our list. So we are some the total we have for the total for each element. And after we sum these two, we're going to use set page value. Remember, well, as when we sum a new element on our product detail, we can save after sum these quantities, we can save to replace the total we have as in our page variable. Okay, so for example, if we have total for 50 or 0 at the beginning, we have 0, and we sum the total for this item for 50, so we have 50 now, and we're going to replace the total for 50. In the next iteration, we're going to have 50, and if we have like 100, so we're going to have 150, and we're going to save the 150 and to replace the variable and for one of each iteration. And which is very, very, very important is each time that you finish your process, because well, you can do many things inside the compute operation, but when you finish, you need to call always the onCompute callbacks. The onCompute callbacks is you need to call it when you finish your functions. It is important because if you don't add the compute callback, the function will keep waiting because we don't know if it already finished. No, you can perform many actions here, so it's important to call the compute callback. You can return a value if you need it. If you return a value, you're going to have an array with all the elements you return, but it's not necessary. So the important is to add the onCompute callback inside the onCompute when you finish. And once you finish your iteration, once we finish all the iteration for each item we have on our database, is called the done callback. We have also the error or non-iterable. For example, if instead of a collection, we send a string, so we're going to have an error or a number, no? But right now, when we finish the done, it means that we finished to sum all the elements we have here. And now we have on our page variable, the total, we have the result of this sum. So we need to add a modify control, and we can read the information we have on the total and modify this control. We have this control named total and change the text. So we're going to display here the result of the sum. Let's test this in our application. Okay. We're going to add a product to my cart. And you can see we have 3 cakes, 30 in total, and 4 ice cream, 80 in total, and we have a total for 110. Okay, so that's all. We have our cards ready, and the next thing is to continue with our checkout. But we're going to continue tomorrow with the checkout to save the comments and create the new order into our database. So we're going to save the cards, the total, and the information. Also, we need to add an address for delivery. So we're going to work with maps, with geolocation, to allow the user to add an address, latitude and longitude. We're going to save into our order. We're going to see this tomorrow. So see you tomorrow to continue creating this delivery application. Thank you. Bye bye.